Hey everyone, the Arthur of Gaming here. Welcome to my video series called Unusual Characters. In this series, I am showing you unusual class race combinations for characters in Dungeons & Dragons. This episode, we're going to do the Artificer. In this one, Artificer is one of my favorite classes, or it used to be one of my favorite classes in 3rd edition. We're now in 5th edition. It just came out in the Eberron book recently. Very excited. I'm playing one right now in a game. I'm like level 3, so I'm very excited to get higher and keep on playing that. So in this, let's take a look at D&D Beyond and the Artificer. All right, so here we look at the Artificer on D&D Beyond, and if we scroll down, you'll see that Artificers are looking for, where is it? Constitution and Intelligence. So if we look at our races, I'm going to stick with Player's Handbook races here. I know that the Artificer is from the Eberron book. Well, let's stick with Player's Handbook races here just because you can go down a rabbit hole of all sorts of races and find all sorts of combos. I don't want to get that deep into it. So again, the Constitution and Intelligence are going to be our ones that we're looking for. Dragonborn is Strength, Charisma, not optimal. Dwarf is Constitution. That's good. No intelligence bonus there. Dex is for the elf is Dex, not helpful. Gnome is Intelligence, good one. Also, remember that's the Artificer's spellcasting ability, so that's really good. So Gnome may be our optimal. Half elf is Charisma and +1 to 2 others, not what we're looking for. Dexterity for the halfling. Half orc is Strength and Constitution. There's the Constitution, but not the intelligence. Although my one that I play on my other game that I'm at level 3, not a half-orc, but a hobgoblin, which is also not optimal. Human, as I've said in my previous episodes, I think that the human is a decent race for most classes because of the flexibility of their ability score bonuses. Probably in the top 3. Definitely in the Player's Handbook in the top 3. You start to add in more books, you may find something a little more optimal, but I think they're definitely towards the top in everything. We're not going to use them today, though. Tieflings, Charisma, and Intelligence. So there's your Intelligence bonus, but not your, what was it again? Constitution bonus, right? Constitution. So I think we're going to go with Gnome for our optimal. And let's go something completely crazy with like a Dragonborn for our suboptimal. So we're going to go here. This is my unusual character campaign and characters that I have made. I'm going to create an unassigned character. For both these characters, I'm going to make all the same options. I'm going to keep the Eberron content on because I need to get to the Artificer. We're going to go with Standard Artificer. And that's what I'm calling it, just to call it that. Race, we're going to go with... what did we say? Gnome, right? Gnome for our not goblin. Not goblin. Gnome. Gnome. And let's go with a forest gnome. Because they get intelligence. And what else do they get? They get dexterity. So maybe, let me see. What's my other option? Deep gnome. What do they get? Intelligence. And dexterity as well. How about the rock gnome? Intelligence. Constitution, which is better. So we'll go with our rock gnome. For class, we're going to go with the Artificer. Choosing that. Level 1 for this one. In this video, I am going to do 4 builds for the Artificer. Exactly the same. Only difference will be the race. I'm going to do level 1, level 5, level 10, level 20. Proficiencies. And again, we're not looking at skills anyway right in this video, so it doesn't really matter what proficiency. I'm going to try and choose the same ones, but proficiencies don't really matter. I'm going to use a standard array, because obviously if you roll randomly, your ability scores can be completely different than other people and can really make a difference in the swing here. And again, remember we're looking at Intelligence and Constitution. Intelligence is going to be our spellcasting modifier, so we're going to go with that. I always like to go with Dexterity. Let's go with Strength. Let's go with not very wise, somewhat charismatic. Background, we can choose, right, because we're an Artificer. Let's choose a Guild Artisan, Guild Merchant. We'll choose Alchemist. Maybe this is an Alchemist. That's it. We're going to choose standard equipment. We'll choose the boomerang and the club. We'll choose scale mail armor. And we'll choose the alchemist supplies. So that's going to be our optimal character, right? We'll go to the character sheet. And now do our unusual. So let's do unusual. I can't type today. Unusual Artificer. Right, we'll turn off the homebrew and the magic stuff and just keep the Eberron content. We're going to go with Dragonborn, right? Because, yeah, that's not going to make a dang bit of difference. That's not very good for him. We'll go with a green dragon one just for the heck of it. We're going to go with our Artificer, level 1. We're going to choose Alchemist Supplies, Arcana and History, just for the hell of it. Abilities, standard array. Again, intelligence, most important. 15. Con. I think we went dex. I think we went strength. We went wisdom and charisma, like that. We'll choose our guild merchant. Guild artisan, guild merchant. We'll choose our brewer supply. Doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. And we'll choose our equipment and try and choose the same thing. So boomerang club, so we can compare bonuses, scale mail, and alchemist supplies. Boom. And then we'll check. Okay, so here's our standard artificer, which is our rock gnome, level 1. 10 hit points. Oh, we have to equip our stuff. Equip, 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 because otherwise it doesn't show up in everything. Okay. 10 hit points, 15 armor class, boomerang attack, +3 to hit, 1d4 plus 1 damage, and club attack, which is your melee, +3 to hit, +4, 1d4 plus 1 damage. There's also light crossbow in there, +3 for die +1. So take a look at that. Now let's take a look at our unusual artificer. 10 hit. Oh, same thing. Let's choose our equipment. All right, 10 hit points, 15 AC. I believe that's pretty much the same. 10 hit points, 15 AC. Our attacks are +3 to hit for a die 4 plus 1, +4 to hit for a die 4 plus 2, +3 for die 8 plus 1. So there's a difference here, right? What's the difference? The club. Why is that? Our strength must be higher. Our strength is higher. So our standard artificer has less strength than our Dragonborn artificer. So melee-wise, our unusual character is actually going to be better in melee combat. Let's look at spells, though. Spells, our unusual artificer has a +4 spell attack for a save DC of 12, and our standard has +5 for a save DC of 13. So, yes, an optimal character should be better at certain things, but it's small, minute change. Not that number doesn't turn out to be a big deal, but it is just a small change. Now, if we take both these characters and level them to 5, so 5 is going to get us, right, another +1 because of our proficiency bonus. We're going to have all sorts of options here. We're just going to go with, what is this? This is my Artificer Infusions. Let's go with, Enhanced Arcane Focus, Enhanced Defense, Enhanced Weapon, and Repeating Shot. It doesn't really matter. I'm not looking at that anyway. My Specialist, we're going to go with the Battlesmith, just because why not? And for our ability scores, we're going to choose the ones that we want, right? We need Intelligence, and we need Constitution. Now, I realize that, yes, you could just throw 2 into Intelligence and make your Intelligence get up there faster. I'm trying to level them kind of equally and show what it looks like with them leveled equally. And right, it is Intelligence, Constitution, right? You have Intelligence, Constitution. Always good to check. And we're all done there. We'll take this guy, the level 1 of the Unusual Artificer. We'll level him to 5. On this, class build section of the builder, it's always good to make sure you go down and check anything that has a blue exclamation point. That means you got to do something with it, right? You don't want to be missing anything. So I'm going to try and choose the same options. Not that it really matters. I'm not going to turn the infusions on anyway. Same specialist is important in this case. So Battlesmith, ability scores. Yes, we're going to go with our intelligence, and we're going to go with our constitution. So we go back here. Now these two characters should be exactly the same, with the exception of their race, which can affect their ability score. So there's small differences there, but the class choices are all exactly the same. So here we are with the standard Artificer again. 43 hit points, AC 15. Our unusuals, 38 hit points, AC 15. So we're lagging behind in hit points here because the Rock Gnome must have a bonus to the Constitution bonus went up. The Rock Gnome, or our standard Artificer, is a +4 to hit, 1d4 +1 with the boomerang, +4 to hit, 1d4 +1 with the club, compared to our Dragonborn, which is +4 to hit, 1d4 +1 with the boomerang, +5 to hit, 1d4 +2 with the club. So again, the Dragonborn, higher strength, a little better at the combat for the Artificer. But now let's look at spells again and see how spells look. So our unusual Artificer is at +6 spell attack, save DC 14. And our standard Artificer is +7, save DC 15. So we're staying the same, right? The optimal build is staying slightly ahead of the unusual build. Again, important. Not saying it's not. However, I don't think it's as big of a deal. I personally like flavor over the function. So I'd rather see this crazy green Dragonborn Artificer alchemist that's mixing potions, and compared to the little Rock Gnome that everybody's used to seeing with the goggles on his head and mixing potions, right? Something different. We'll jump again to level 10. Oops. Infusions. Oops, keeping the same ones. Well, we got a lot more here going on. Look at all these things. We'll choose a homunculus. I love homunculi. We'll choose some boots. We'll choose a radiant weapon because that just sounds like a blast. Replicate magic item, alchemy jug, because it's one of the greatest items ever. And we'll do our ability score improvement. We'll do our intelligence and our constitution. Right? Everything's done. All of our blue exclamation points are gone. Go to the unusual Artificer. We'll build him or her out at level 10. Right? More infusions. Lots of them. Homunculus. Again, great. Love homunculi. Boots. Radiant weapon. Replicate magic item. We'll go with the alchemy jug. Is this the greatest ever? Ability score improvements, we'll go with intelligence, and we'll go with constitution again. So again, trying to stay exactly the same with all my character choices, all my class choices. So that way we're really seeing that just the race is really what the difference is here. So here's our standard Artificer, Rock Gnome, Artificer 10. 83 hit points, 15 AC. Boomerang at range is +5 to hit for a die 4 +1, and our melee is +5 to hit die 4 +1 with a club. Sounds pretty similar to what we probably have in the other one. 83 hit points, so now we see our hit points are now caught up. So between level 5 and 10, now the Dragonborn has gotten a bonus, and the hit points have gone up. AC 15, exactly the same. Boomerang is +5 for die 4 +1, which I think was the same. And our club is +6 for die 4 +2, which is different. So we're still seeing that Dragonborn Artificer, which is not optimal, is still ahead when it comes to swinging a melee weapon. If we look at our spells, the spell attack is +7 with the DC 15 with our Dragonborn, the unusual Artificer. And over with our standard Artificer, +8 for a 16. So again, yes, the optimal slightly ahead again in your spell casting. Again, not saying spellcasting isn't important, especially with an Artificer. They are a half spellcaster. You know, they only have up to level 5 spells, like paladins and rangers and stuff, unlike the pure spellcasters or full spellcasters, like clerics and druids and bards and wizards, etc. So still ahead as far as that goes, but not far. Now, if we go ahead here and we jump up to the level 20 version. Let's see what kind of crazy amount of infusions and stuff we get choices for now. Sure, armor, helm, doesn't really matter. Again, I don't think this, I'm going to choose the same choices. Ability score improvements. Now, we may start to see here that one of these may max out and you may not be able to make some of the choices. So we'll find out with all these ability score improvements. That right there. So, right, my intelligence is no longer an option, so we'll choose our constitution, and then we'll go with dexterity. And if the same thing happens with the other one, we'll do the same thing, right? So, can't choose intelligence, we'll choose our constitution, choose our dexterity. All the blue exclamation points are gone. Keep wanting to call it an arrow for some reason. Let's edit our unusual artificer, which is our Dragonborn. Choose some infusions here. Choose all the same ones in case, because I don't know what all the options are off the top of my head, and I don't want to go through them. But I want to make sure that I choose the same one so that if one of them adds a +1 to an attack or something, that we're not missing it, right? So intelligence again, constitution. Still can choose intelligence. So the suboptimal may not max out its intelligence, which it did not, or at least it didn't until this point. So it may have ultimately maxed it out. We'll find out. Did it get to a 20? It did. So it did ultimately max it out, but not before. So here's our standard artificer, our rock gnome, our optimal build, right? And 203 hit points, crazy good. That's that constitution kicking in, right? You're looking at 20th level and averaging 10 hit points a level is pretty good. Again, I'm taking just the standard hit points. I'm not rolling. Rolling obviously adds a whole different change in here. 16 armor class. Boomerang +8 to hit, die 4 +2. Club +7 hit, die 4 +1. Our unusual artificer, 183 hit points. 15 armor class, so now our optimal is better. +7 for die 4 +1, +8 for die 4 +2, which is flipped, right? So now our optimal artificer has a better dexterity ranged attack, whereas our unusual, the Dragonborn, has a better club attack, or a better melee attack. So as we see at level 20, now the optimal build is starting to catch up as far as non-spellcasting attacking with the Dragonborn. And it's caught up and they're just flipped now. If you look at spells, right, the unusual is +11 hit for save DC 19. The standard is +11 save DC 19. So now we've caught up. So now at 20th level, which I know not everybody gets to 20th level. I get that. But if you're planning to make a character and are planning to play it, why would you not think long term, right? So at the highest level, our attack and our save DC is going to be exactly the same. So, you know, taking your standard optimal build, especially for like an artificer, and looking at it and going, why not play something different? Why not play the same thing? And you end up with ultimately the exact same spell casting, and the attacking and melee and ranged are just flip-flopped. One is better than like the other. So my ultimate point for this video is take a look at these kind of things. Play something different. Don't play the same thing, so that when you go to play with other people, you know, you end up playing the same thing. You know, back in the 80s when I played D&D and Forgotten Realms came out, everybody wanted to play a Drow Ranger with a Panther and 2 swords, just like Drizzt. And I actually sat down at some games in which there was like 3 people playing the same character. So don't be that person. Don't play the same character as somebody else. Just play something wacky and different because you want to, because you think it'll be fun and cool and different rather than optimal. So, as always, folks, I am the Arthur of Gaming, as I will put up on the screen right now so that you have it. Oops, I did not put it up properly, obviously. I am the Arthur of Gaming. Follow me on Instagram at the Arthur of Gaming. I put up posts for Dungeons and Dragons, for a live stream that I do. I do some terrain builds. I do board games, that kind of stuff on my Instagram. Same here with my YouTube. So please subscribe to my channel, like my video, make some comments. Let me know what kind of things you're liking. Are you liking these kind of videos? Are they helpful? What is something else you might want to see a video series on? Always looking for that kind of stuff, for ideas to spur some videos and some content. So as always, please do all those things. And it is a crazy world out there, folks, so please stay safe.